Hey y'all, it's your girl, Dr. J, back with another episode of Let It Flow. And today I want to talk to you about it's not all about you. I think we get mixed up sometimes when we have different things going on in our lives or we've accomplished certain things or just different things that happens with us where we forget sometimes that it's not all about us. And this actually came to mind a while ago, but then I had a couple other people that brought this topic back to my mind when I interacted with them. But it first started with my niece Maya when she said to me that she wanted to be a doctor. And I thought to myself, like, wow, I never knew that that was something that you were even considering. And because we never talked about her wanting to be a doctor, we've talked about school, we've talked about how important education is. Even talked about college and how that can be one avenue to you getting to wherever you desire to go in life. And we spoke about so many different things, but she had never mentioned to me that becoming a doctor was something that was of importance to her or something that was even on her radar. And so as I kind of probed a little bit more in our conversation, because I really wanted to uncover the why behind her making that decision. And one thing she shared was that she enjoys working with children. So being a pediatrician was one area that she was considering, but she had some other things that she was thinking about as well. But really the love for children, the wanting them to have care, wanting them to have someone who actually cares about them, caring for them is important to her. And I thought, I'm like, that's amazing because that why, along with other things that you're going to be doing, but really that why is something that's going to help you with staying the course, something that's going to help keep you focused on why you're doing this and why this is important because you understand that there's a need for someone like you to be a doctor and to help children and to help their parents as well to care for them. Talking to her, but also talking to two of my friends and one of my mentees, and they all shared similar things, but it was different parts of my identity that was very important to them. For Maya, it was I saw you actually become a doctor. And so now I know seeing you, that representation where you're there, is important to me as a little Black girl. But for my mentee, it was a situation where she was thinking, wow, you've done so many things in your life. You work different positions, you've been in different places, you've overcome adversity. Like, I want to be able to do a lot of the things that you've done in your life. And just watching you has been so important and has played a very important role in my life and helping me to know that I can do certain things as well. Because again, that representation in you, that role model that I've seen in you, has helped me to accomplish a lot of my goals and is still helping me to strive to do my best. Again, even a couple of my friends, them thinking, man, you're so organized, you manage your time well, you gone back to school, you have 4 degrees, you still work 40 plus hours a week, you doing all of these things, and now you're embarking on, now you have your own business. It's like, if I could just have a piece of what you have, or if I can just have a little bit of your time to help me with accomplishing my goals or to help me in my own life to set goals and to figure out what's the next steps for me and how to do half of the things that you've done, I'll be forever grateful. And so one of the things that I realized was the fact that sometimes we forget that there are other people around us who are watching us. There are other people who are paying close attention to what we say, but also what we do. They pay attention to our lives. And sometimes they're sitting there thinking, if I could just be like that person, if I could just do these things, they're inspired by a lot of us. And it's important for us to understand that when we reach certain levels of success, when we've accomplished certain things in our lives, when we've received these accolades, that it's not all about us. It's really not. We have to take the time to pay it forward. We have to take the time to sow into one another. We have to take the time to be teachers and to be positive role models for the people around us, not even just our youth, but everyone in our communities, everyone in our neighborhoods, the people around us. We have to be good stewards over the gifts and the talents that we've been blessed with, and we can't be hoarders of blessings. We can't be gatekeepers of knowledge and feeling like, okay, well, I was able to do this, so you should be able to do it on your own without actually pouring into people, without actually taking the time to be a listening ear, without actually taking the time to speak life into and over someone because you know that they need that wisdom. You know that they need that encouragement. You know that they need that support. We have to do a better job at using our platforms, using our gifts, using our talents, using our voices for good and being able to bless the people around us and help them to get to the next level in their lives. And I see so many people that forget that it's important to know that it's not all about you. As you're navigating this thing called life, it's not all about you. We have to be able to create spaces and opportunities to help others build, to help them learn, and to help them grow as well, and to make sure that we are making a positive impact on the people around us and the world around us, because it's important. Sometimes we don't understand the magnitude that our voices has on other people's lives. We don't understand the influence that we have on someone else's life. We don't get it all the time. And sometimes for me, when somebody comes back to me and says, you said this thing to me and it changed my life. You took time to listen to me and it changed my life. You helped me. I was going through a really tough time, and hearing your voice, talking to you about this situation, hearing your testimony even has helped me in my life. And I step back and say, because I'm the most humble person that you probably ever want to meet. And I say that all the time. And people are like, you don't get how amazing you are. And then for me, it's like, I'm not thinking about myself when I give. I'm not thinking about myself when I share my time, when I share my wisdom, when I look for opportunities to sow into other people. I'm really not thinking about myself. I'm thinking about how I can bless somebody else, how I can support somebody else, how I can be there for somebody else, especially if it's situations where it's an area where I may have struggled, it's the insecurity that I may have overcame, it's the obstacle that I may have overcame, or whatever it may be. If it's a situation where I had to really work hard to get through that, to grow through that, then I want to make sure that everybody else coming behind me understands this is a way that you can navigate it. This is something that you may want to use as a word of advice. Here's some tools and resources that I use to help me through this particular thing or to get to this next level in life. Let me impart this wisdom into you to make it easier for you. And I live by that. I live by that. But I see far too many people who could care less about the next person and whether they get it or not, whether they are blessed or not, whether they receive the things that they need in order for them to be successful, whether they help somebody today or tomorrow. I see far too many people who don't use their gifts and their talents for good, who don't use their platforms to be a positive role model, to make a positive impact on the lives of others. I see it far too much. And so I want people to understand that it's not all about you. We are all responsible for one another. It is our responsibility to help one another, to be there for one another, and to make sure that we are in support of each other. Because one thing about it, not one person has gotten to where they are by themselves. Somebody helped you along the way. Somebody supported you. Somebody encouraged you. Somebody blessed you financially. Somebody did something for you in your life that made you one step closer to whatever it is that you were seeking to accomplish. Somebody stepped in and provided an opportunity for you, opened a door for you. Somebody did something to help you along the way. And truth be told, a lot of somebodies did things for us to help us to get to the next level. And I count it a blessing, all of the mentors, all of the role models, all of the people from family, friends, colleagues, different folks in my community, different leaders that I've had the opportunity to interact with. I count it a blessing to have each one of those people in my life. And I count it a blessing to be able to use every gift, every talent, and my voice, my platform, everything that God has blessed and equipped me with to give back to somebody else, to be able to help them in their lives, because it's important. It's necessary. It's something that we have to make sure that we're doing, because you don't know who's paying attention to you. You don't know who needs a piece of your wisdom. You don't know who needs a piece of your time. So one thing I would do every day, and this is what I challenge each of you to do, is to ask God daily for the opportunity to be a blessing to someone else, whether it's financially, physically helping someone, giving someone your time, providing a listening ear or words of advice, or whatever God lays on your heart to do. It's about asking Him daily for the opportunity to bless somebody. And we don't always know how that comes. I've had many times where I've prayed that same prayer every single day. And sometimes it was an older person that may have come up to me in the grocery store and has talked to me for 30 minutes about different things. And at the end of it, they said, I thank you for the opportunity for you to listen to me and just to sit and talk with me. I don't have anybody else. I don't have anybody at my house. It's just me and the dogs, or it's just me there by myself. So thank you for taking the time to listen to me and not just walk the other way and pretend that you didn't hear me and you didn't see me. I've had people where one of my mentees was trying to get car insurance and she had a lot going on at home. Nobody was helping her. Nobody was trying to teach her the questions that she needed to ask and the things that she needed to be abreast of as she's working through that process. And so she happened to mention that to me. And I said, well, would you like for me to help you? And being able to sit down and say, okay, these are some of the things that you need to do. These are some of the places that I would recommend that you call. This is how you can do your homework in this area, because you have to make the best decision for yourself, but I can provide guidance to support you along the way. And then having my mentee come back and say, thank you, because nobody told me these things. Nobody supported me. Nobody helped me to understand. I was just told to Google it and figure it out. But why? But why? So being able to be a blessing in that regard was amazing for me. And it took nothing away from me to be able to help my mentee in that instance and to talk to an older person in the grocery store. It didn't even take anything from me to do that. Right. And so I want people to understand that you can actually help somebody else on a daily basis. You can be a blessing to somebody else on a daily basis. It's just we have to make sure that we are taking the time to think about other people and not just ourselves. To think about the fact that the decisions that I make can impact a whole generation. It can impact everybody in my house. It can impact my family. It can impact different people because of the choices that I'm making. Me taking the time out to do some volunteer work, to volunteer at a local soup kitchen, to help someone with a mock interview, to support someone with a dream or a goal that they're trying to figure out. They're trying to flush out everything, to be able to even just read over a document that someone sends to me because they need an extra set of eyes. Whatever it is, we all have a duty to one another to be a blessing, to help, to support, to be there for one another. And a lot of times it costs us nothing to do that. It costs us nothing to be kind. It costs us nothing to be a blessing to somebody else. And even if God moves you to do something from a financial standpoint, what you also have to realize is that when God asks you to do something, He already knows that you're equipped to do it before he even asked you, before you even knew that he was going to ask you to do it. He's already equipped you with the ability to be able to do it. But what he's also given you the opportunity to do is everything that he's placed inside of you, everything that he's blessed you with, he's given you an opportunity to pay it forward. He's giving you an opportunity to help someone else along their journey. And so I look forward to taking those opportunities whenever I get them. Whenever I get them. I look forward to it because Again, it's far too many people in our community, in our society, who overlook people, who count people out, who are hoarders of blessings, who are gatekeepers of information for no reason at all. And then there are some that their reasoning is, I don't want people to know more than I know or to know what I know. I don't want somebody to outshine me. I don't want somebody to be more blessed than me. I don't want somebody else to have more than I have. And it's like, but why is that the concern? Why are those things on your mind when we all should be helping one another? Because you can reflect back on a time where you didn't know what you know now. You can reflect back on a time where somebody had to come alongside you and pull you up by your bootstraps. You can reflect back on a time where somebody had to open the door for you. And if you can't reflect back on a time where someone had to help you at any point in your life, I don't even know what to say on that one. Because there is nothing that I have done from being in school and finishing my 4 degrees to purchasing my own home and to being able to do a lot of different things. There's nothing that I've been able to do on my own accord. There's been somebody who's given me information. There's been somebody who prayed with me, somebody who called to give me words of encouragement, someone who actually listened to me as I may have went on a rant about everything that's going on in my life and how I'm struggling or what I need or whatever it may be. There's been people who have come alongside me and to help me in my life. So if there are people who are out there saying, oh, nobody helped me to get to where I am, I did it all on my own, that would be a really big untruth. That would not be something that you can really say is true, because I guarantee you at some point somebody helped you along the way. The other piece of it for me is the representation. And that's why I have a strong focus on women and girls of color, particularly Black and Hispanic women and girls, because a lot of times there's not enough of us out there pouring into one another, not enough of us being that representation to say, you can do this too. I stand before you this way. Here's how I did it, and let me help you along your journey. There's not enough of us out there that's saying, let me give you an opportunity. Let me help you. Let me show you. Let me guide you. Let me support you. Let me uplift you in some way, shape, or form. There's not enough of us out there, and there's such a need for us to band together, to support each other, to encourage each other, and to be there for each other so that way we all can be successful. And I will also say this, there's enough room for everybody to be blessed. There's enough room for everybody to be blessed. There's enough room for us all to be able to have the things in life that we desire and to walk the path that God has for us. There's enough room for everybody. And so if you're a person where you feel like, oh, I got to keep everything to myself because I don't want anybody else to be able to know this, to do this, or to be blessed, or whatever it may be, or if you're a person where you're like, okay, I'm gonna make sure that I keep everything close to my chest because I don't want to share out information like that, let that go. Let that go, because it's not all about you, it's about all of us. And it's about helping all of us to succeed. It's about helping all of us to have a fulfilled life. It's about all of us being healthy. It's about all of us living out our biggest, our wildest, and craziest dreams, live, big, bold, and in color. It's about everybody reaching that level of desired success. It's about everybody accomplishing their goals and living the life that they desire to live, because it's room for everybody to do so. So let's focus on how we can be good teachers, how we can be positive role models, how we can pour into others and to help them along their journey, and to make sure that we are setting each other up for success and not failure. To make sure that we are giving of ourselves and taking the time to support somebody else, taking the time to lend our ears to somebody else, taking the time to share the wisdom, to share our experiences, to share our testimony with others that can to help them along their journey as well, because you just never know how impactful your life, how impactful your words, how impactful you can be to somebody else. And you never know who's sitting next to you, aspiring to be like you because you've inspired them to be greater. You've inspired them to do more, to be more, to challenge themselves because they've watched you do so many wonderful things. They've heard so many good things about you, and all they want to do is get a piece of your time. All they want to do is to shine just like you. So let's stop all of this hoarding of blessings and not wanting to encourage and uplift one another and not wanting to be there in support of one another. And let's remember that it's not all about us individually. It's about us as a collective, as a community, us as a society, us as a whole, living healthy, bold, unapologetic, wonderful lives and being able to thrive and to grow and to go in the direction that each of us needs to go in, but it's about us doing it together. I hope that encourages somebody. I hope that hits the right hearts and the right minds so we can all know how we can be there for one another and in support of each other and how we can pay it forward because what is not all about you, just like it's not all about me. Hit the like and subscribe button, share it out with your friends, family, whoever you want to share it with. All I care is that you share it. Again, it's your girl, Dr. J. Peace and love. Y'all be blessed.